Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very impromptu live segment here. I had no idea that I was going to go live today. Just randomly fell on my lap to have some time on my hands, so I figured why not? This is what I like to do. We're going to have a conversation. Listen, the topic was and is supposed to be about watches that are underrated, but I'll tell you something, man. I have a very good habit of going left when I should have gone right, then getting lost and making another left, if you know what I mean. So who knows where we're going to be, but welcome in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Skylar Santana, and on this channel, we talk about all things wristwatch related. And on my wrist today is a Citizen watch, and they're one of the names that it constantly gets brought up that they're underrated or under talked about. I don't think that there is a light shine on them as much as it should be, like the light shining on my face, so you guys can see my facial expressions illuminated. But it's definitely a name that I hear often being underrated, not talked about. And I think that that is true because I definitely have a lot of Seikos in the collection as an example because it's time to rotate this bad boy. I had this on the wrist technically before this live, but to stay on topic, and that's the SKX009. To stay on topic, I have my Citizen. This is the Blue Angels edition. Now, check this out. I got this very early on in watch collecting. What drew me to this watch, this Citizen Blue Angels specifically, was the busyness of the actual dial, but it was also the fact that I think what really brought me this watch for sure, and we're going to look at this watch. We're going to go on the Citizen website, but it had a power reserve, right? In order for you to see that power reserve, it's right here on the corner, right? You press this button here, everything moves, and it tells you how much power is left in the watch itself. So that's what drew me into the watch, to get it first and foremost. But I'll tell you something, man. Their EcoDrive technology, this watch in general. Now, I don't know if this connects to the towers and recalibrates for itself. It has to, because it's never on the wrong date. And it's always on perfect time. So I don't know, man. I try to do the radio signal where you manually can do it, but I feel like it never does technically connect. But this watch is always on point. So if you talk about Citizen, I don't know. Look, you can go wherever you want. Citizen makes fantastic divers. A lot of people are straight advocates for their divers. For some reason, the diver category, when it came to Citizen, just didn't draw me in. And for no other reason than Seiko sucking me into their vortex more so than Citizen as far as that was concerned. Now, I got the 009 very early on. You guys know that I also own the Arnie, which is here. I've got the Arnie as well, which is another diver, screw down, 200 meters, yes. Solar 200 meters, yes. What other Seikos do I have? I have this one on me, the Turtle. Turtle, right? So when it comes to that category of divers, when it comes to Citizen versus Seiko versus Orient, Orient's not a name that gets brought up too much. I think when I first started getting into watch collecting, the Bambino was brought up a lot. I don't see it brought up as much anymore. Let me see what you guys are saying on chat. Let me not be rude. Oh, by the way, double wristing, F91W. Listen to me. This watch is the premium double wrist companion. If you want to be a double wrist connoisseur, but you want to fly a little under the radar, put that on there. It's smaller. It's not as noticeable. When you put two metal watches on, people are going to see that. And they're going to see this as well. But I think it's a little bit more socially acceptable, if you will. And that's not the reason why I do it. The F91 was an actual birth year watch. And as you guys know, I customized it, right? I customized it to that blue screen. It's a legendary watch. It's just ready to go. It does things that certain watches don't do when you have it on wrist. And therefore, it accompanies a lot of my watches, keeps them on point, keeps them on check. Then I also have the alarm system, because if you try to get an alarm system on a mechanical watch, you got to dig deep. T-Monk is in the building, nice and early. He gives me the eyes. As in, Santana, I need you to start ASAP. Who else is in the building? Oscar is in the building. Good evening, all watch collecting enthusiasts and collectors. What's going on, Oscar? Always a pleasure to have you, my guy. And listen, I want your guys' input on this. I'm talking about underrated watches. It's more so because look, when I think there's different conversations about underrated. I feel like there is underrated in the sense of not a lot of people know about this. Then there's underrated where people do know about this company or do know about this watch, and it's just not talked about as often. And what are we speaking about when we speak about not talked about? Well, we're all on YouTube here. And so a lot of stuff gets pushed into the limelight. A lot of the stuff gets a lot of attention for different reasons. Most notable is watch reviewers getting watches, like myself. Then you have people who are watch sellers and they have their agendas. No shades toward that. You got to make a living. But when we talk about underrated watches, we talk about stuff that's just not brought up as often. And when there's a lot of good value that's not being recognized as often, I think that that's what we mean by underrated, all-encompassing. Rant over. Wrist Unwound. What's going on, my brother, man? I got one for you. Since you're in the chat. And by the way, you like the little effects that I have there? See, I can't get the camera game. When I have to do a zoom, it's me rolling back. Ghetto Productions. I got one for you, Wrist Unwound. I got one for you. I should have just took this draw out. Check this out, my man. You'll appreciate this. The Timex Q, right? I don't know if you want to call this an underrated watch. Maybe you do. It's not talked about as much anymore. Listen, it's not new news, right? That's the thing. So there is such a thing of that. I mentioned the Orient watch, the Orient Bambino. It's old news. I think that if you want that to resurface in the sun, it has to be given a crazy spin. But I got the Timex Q just for you, Wrist Unwound. Oh, by the way, I blame this watch on you, sir. After just seeing your crazy Timex collection, I had to do it, and I had to look at it. Now, here's the deal. Do as I say and not as I do. I say that often on this channel. Why? Because I didn't do my full homework on this, and maybe I'm misled, but I don't think there's a quick set. I think there's a quick set for the date, but for the day, there's no quick set. So this thing makes me work when I have to set it. A little annoying. The bezel doesn't have a click. Don't really care. I don't really care. Listen. If this was my first dive watch and I expect the bezel to click, I may have been a little peeved. But this one's a smooth turn, and I'm not mad at that because I have so many divers that if I want to click, I can get a click. You get what I'm saying? What are we talking about? The Q is fire. Thank you, bro. And you know me, I'm a degenerate. Here's the deal. The bracelet on the Timex Q, I told you we're going to go off on tangents. We'll get back to underrated. The thing about the Timex Q, the bracelet is a hair puller. And I'm not a sensitive guy where I'm like, if it pulls here and there, I'll deal with it. It's not a big deal. The thing will destroy hair follicles in multiple occasions at once. So I had to get rid of that. And there's a lot of straps. The strap that I put on there was from Vario because I had another fantastic watch, which is called the AE 1200 by Casio, right? The Casio Royale. These straps fit the Timex Q. And now I only knew that because I actually was watching Tyree's video, Wrist Unwound, and he was talking about Strap Habit, and I went to the website. And on the website, the straps that he had for Timex Qs also fit other models, ergo the Casio Royale. Now, I was privy to the fact that I had multiple straps already for it. Therefore, I saved myself $1. So actually, Wrist Unwound, you made me spend money, and then you made me save money. End scene. Trap Vision is in the building. What's on, brother? What's going on? Don't deny me clicks. Don't deny me clicks. What you talking about? Don't deny you. Don't deny me clicks. What do you mean that don't deny you clicks? What's going on? You thought I wasn't going to click your chat? Of course I am. Stop it. Michael's in the building. Good afternoon, Skylar, and to everyone in the chat. What's going on, bro? Yo, not only do I like to make it complicated, but I also, when I scroll through your guys' chat, I end up bringing the recent one, then I go back, and then I go in the middle. I'm all over the place. I'm a mess. We're going to look at some watches here on the website. Citizen is going to be on the topic. Seiko is going to be talked about. Orient is another conversation too. But guys, if you guys are aware of another name that you think is severely underrated, let me know in the chat now, and I'll bring up their website as well, and we'll take a look. We'll take a peek at it. You've got about 20 of them, the Timex Qs. I mean, I should have just raided your draw then, sir. I should have just been like, how much for that doggy in the window? Let me make sure I didn't skip anybody. Hold on. Okay. Let me catch up on the chat. Nice and proper. Here we go. M79 have click. So specific models of the Q, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the guru of Timex Q. This specific model has clicks on the bezel. But you know what, dude? Sometimes you got to get something different in your collection. Sometimes you need a bezel that doesn't have a click. Do they all need clicks? No. I have tons of divers and even pilot watches, for that matter, that have a bezel that clicks. So do I need it? I'm all right with it. I'm all right with the silent clicker. And guess what? I'll tell you something. I talked about my F91W being a fantastic dual wielder, if you will. So is the Timex Q. It's pretty flush. It's not thick. Right? It's a little low key. Now I put this red strap on here so it's less inconspicuous. However, I was looking at certain watches to double wrist with certain guys. I'm telling you, the rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper. And another watch that I like to double wrist that I kind of felt I'm probably not going to double wrist this as much, but I was doing it, which is my Brew watch. Showing you guys this a lot, Quartz. It is a little bit of a thicker boy. But that's also another fantastic watch to double wrist. Now, some people have rhyme and reason to double wristing. Most of the time, it's a quartz watch with a mechanical watch. Sometimes it's a smart watch with a mechanical watch and or another quartz watch. But for me, it's really like whatever mood I'm in. And if I am or not with my wife, because she gets embarrassed if I put on two chunky boy mechanical watches, yeah, I do that. She's like, babe, please, you're killing me. She's like, at least put the F91 dubs on. End scene. I did say hi to Michael. I don't know what you mean, Trap, by denying you clicks, bro. I'm a little. Oh, don't deny you the bezel clicks. Shot, bro. It's Monday. Don't forget to like the video. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Absolutely. By the way, Wrist Unwound, fantastic channel. And we are waiting for you to come back live and in strides. And the community has waiting for you, bro. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic value from your channel. Hargan, you'll love it. I've had 2 of the original. Facts. Got you. Noted. I need my bezel turns. I'm not happy. Nah, bro, I'm telling you, you can let one go. Because here's the deal. It's like this, bro. Just like how I talk about the bezel not clicking on this, right? There's no clicks on this. I think you guys know this. This is not a new watch. It's kind of like the way I think about it. It's kind of like the Seiko SKX 007009, right? There's no hand wind on this. That could drive some people nuts. It doesn't drive me nuts. You do one of these, you grab the bracelet, you take your palm, and you let that sucker spin. Or you can do the shake, whatever you want. Now, here's the deal. No hacking, no hand winding. I'm okay with it for that watch. If all my watches were like that, I'd survive, but I wouldn't be as happy. You follow what I'm saying? So you'd be okay with one, or maybe you won't be, and that's okay too. Wrist on, I've got an 8-inch wrist. I'm scared the bracelet won't fit. The bracelet probably won't fit. I don't know. You're asking the right person, which is Wrist Unwound when it comes to automatic and clicks. Also, gotcha. Thicker case. Copy. You guys are talking to each other. Says you, Mr. Learning Professional. I'm a stubborn old man, and if my bezel clicks aren't there, we have a problem. Got you. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little. I was off kilter a little. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't do my homework. That's why I say do as I say and not as I do. I always tell you guys, do your homework on your watches. Now, could I have returned it? I could have. But again, when you have a sizable collection, not a flex, all my stuff is affordable. But when you have a sizable collection, you can be okay with certain things not being there, you know, that you necessarily don't have to have on every single watch. Does that make any sense? Sometimes you can make exceptions. And the SKX 009 is an example of that. So with that being said, let's look at some stuff over here. Now, Citizen, as I said, is a little underrated, I think, in the conversation. And the only Citizen that I own is the one that I showed you guys, which is my Blue Angels. Here are some Citizen watches. I think I jumped to the category of mechanical watches when it comes to it. I kind of wanted the price range because here's the deal. The reference that I go off of when I'm looking at Citizen, and I'm not really well versed when it comes to Citizen watches. However, when you start to learn something about one brand, you can have a point of reference. My point of reference when I look at Citizen is Seiko. I would have to say that they're probably competing for the same space. Is that fair? So I'm starting to do my own investigative deep dive into why I specifically was more so sucked into the Seiko world versus the Citizen world more so than not, right? Why did that happen? And my point of reference is like, let's say the prospects, right? As far as price point goes, what are we getting? Now, I love these little small seconds on here. These are mechanical watches. That's the category I think. Now, here's a watch that I see brought up so much, right? How do you pronounce this? The Tiosa, whatever it is. It's an automatic watch. It's that typical Gata watch with the Cyclops on it. Here's a couple of colorways for it. I thought that there were more. There probably is. But anyway, for argument's sake, right? Let's look at this one. I like that they have a little compare button here. Let's look at this one. Can I blow this up? Can we look deep into it? Here we go. So this is an automatic, okay? 360, so we're up against Seiko's, let's say, 5KX. Yes, is that fair? I think that's fair, right? I think that's floating around $400 range, so they got them a little beat up price. But there are some 5KXs that are around this price as well. And there's also the GMT, right? They have their GMT affordable collar GMT, as you will. But here we go. So fun colors in this range. I believe this is fairly new to their collection. I don't know if it's been around for a while. I don't know if it's just a brand new amount of colorway to it. Let's actually look at this orange. This is fantastic. This is nice. It's not for me, but it's nice. My wife would say it's a yellow cab taxi type of look, so she wouldn't go for that. But anyway, let's look at some specifications. Let's do that, right? So this is an 8000 series automatic. We are getting a sapphire. We are getting a bracelet. The only thing about this line, man, to be honest with you guys, the only thing about this line, it doesn't really do it for me that much right now. As far as being a Gata, it is a Gata, right? But it's kind of plain, if you will. It's very, very nice. It's very handsome. I like that it has an exhibition case back. I got nothing really against it. I love that it has a bracelet. The price point is there. I can't deny that. It's an 8000 series, not a 9000, right? So comparable to the Seiko, we're getting the same kind of specification. We're getting the same kind of feel. It is an automatic. I'm sure it has hacking hand winding in an 8000 series, yes. So I don't know, man. What's the water resistance? 5 bars. So, okay. 166 feet. Let's be realistic. That's probably good enough for most people. I don't know if it's a screw down crown. I don't think it is. It's probably a push pull. I'm just reading some stuff. Hacking features. Okay. Yeah, listen, I respect it. I get it. It just doesn't tickle my fancy too much. And then if we talk about, and this is not a fair comparison, but if I was talking about a Gata watch, what would Seiko be in comparison to that for a Gata watch, really? That's a good question. We're in the Prospex line. That's not a fair fight. Presage would still be more. So I guess price point is a thing where they got them kind of beat. Yes. Maybe this is, and I never know. No. I guess when it comes to dress watch, and that's more of like a Gata watch, like we said. So a little bit more of a price point here for Seiko Presage. But we know what we're getting. And the dials, as far as interests go, now this is significantly more, in my opinion, right? But at the end of the day, aesthetic-wise, it just does more for me when it comes to the Seiko. And I'm just going to roll through just to make sure the price point is accurate for, you know what I mean? Like, I just think that when it comes to dress watches in the automatic category, just there alone, and again, I may be talking crazy. I may be talking like maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe there is a better Citizen line. And then we got the divers. So I don't know, man. When we talk about the divers for Citizen as well, let me pull that up. Let me read the chat and see what you guys are saying. I want to pull up some divers when it comes to Citizen as well. you guys are saying on chat. ProMaster. Yep. I understand that. He said the T is silent. Man, I'm still going to pronounce it wrong. City Z is definitely slept on. They are slept on, dude. And I'm trying to unpack, I'm trying to unearth. Maybe I'm not the right guy to do this, but I'm trying to unearth the reason why they're so slept on. You guys tell me what your opinion is, man. What's the compare and contrast as to why we feel? And here's the deal. Seiko's talked about a lot, but I feel like with their last release, that was not talked about that much as well. That kind of flew under the radar. I think people were just not impressed. I covered it here on the channel. We did a live. We took a look at it, right? And but other than that, I didn't see it pop up. And I follow a lot of people who talk watches. I didn't see the conversation come up too much in the community. There were small little, rocket fail, fireworks for it that kind of died off right away. It just wasn't there, man. The conversation was kind of weak when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to the Citizen Divers, and let me know, guys, what you think. We got some heavy hitters in the chat. Like, what is the exact comparison when it comes to the diver category with Citizen? Maybe we think about the dress watch category that we just got off of. Why do we think that Citizen is talked about less than Seiko in the whole hype of things? Why is that? Oscar agrees with Travis being slept on for Citizen. 2023. So, okay, so maybe it didn't have as much time in the sun. Maybe it just needs to marinate, needs to bake a little bit longer. Citizen watches are cool. I own 5 of them between Quartz and Eco Drives. That's what I mean, bro. Like, I kind of feel blindsided, right? I feel like I should have more Citizen watches as well. They're extremely affordable. I'm sure they have a price range of watches that's not the case for everyone, but for the most part, like, dude, they're pretty affordable. I don't understand why I just don't own more of them, or like I haven't been drawn in as much. I want a ProMaster with a 9000 series movement. That makes sense. When you talk about Seiko and you have the prospects, you get the increase in. But the thing is, like, what bites me about the increase in Seiko's prospects? Why not get the higher beats? I don't get why they stick to the 21.6, right? Why don't we get 28.8, 9000 series for Miyota all day long? Now, movement alone, when we talk about the two brands supplying movements, Seiko sells a lot. They give a lot. They offer a lot. They were heavily respected, especially when it came to the Collar GMT. You could get a Collar GMT almost in a lot of micro brands, and for a crazy price. Plus, Seiko themselves have a line of, they change the numbers around a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Yes. Price point on that, value for that, like stepping into a GMT watch that's not going to cost you too much. Fantastic. But when we talk about movement alone, and we all know how I'm plugged into, or I'm very interested in the micro brand space, Miyota is more respected. The 9000 series, and it's for that 28.8, right? 28,800 beats. So, at least when it comes to that, the color is beautiful. Integrated bracelet, 100%. Dude, that go right over. That went right over my head. That was one of the biggest points that I should have brought up. You're absolutely correct. It is an integrated bracelet, automatic 360. You can't go wrong. That's like basically floating around the Seiko 5 series. Yes. I don't know, man. The aesthetics, the yellow's cool. The yellow's definitely cool. I don't know what it is, man. The indices are fine. They're clean. I'm not much of a Cyclops guy. Maybe they should have got rid of that. Maybe it should have been a no date. I don't know. Maybe they should have went with a true no date. It's a clean watch, man. Integrated bracelet for sure. Micro adjust on that. Push deployment. Definitely more interesting than an AH35, right? Movement for sure. It's a good watch. It's a good watch. It should be, and it was talked about a lot. It doesn't personally tickle my fancy, but it's a fantastic watch. Like, I would definitely recommend it. And that's not because I don't think that the watch is cool. I think when you have a certain collection, and I think this goes for everyone in one point or another, like when you collect a certain way, certain watches, certain categories, like I'm mentally getting desensitized to diver watches or watches with bezels on the outside externally. Why? I love them still. I can still today see a watch with a rotating bezel, and the way, depending on how it's composed, depending on its specifications, depending on its value, I'll still like it. I'll still maybe even jump after it. I showed you guys the Squale. I showed you guys the SRPE. Oh, is it the 05 or the 03? It's one of those. The Grenade one. I think the Grenade one is 05. I may be wrong. Point is, those have external rotating bezels. But I look at my collection and I'm like, dude, why am I still interested in that? Like, I have so much of it. I should definitely be reaching for something internally. We took a look at the last review that I released for Edward Christopher with the internal rotating bezel. Yes? So if I go diver, I should be trying to entertain something like that instead. I have one Citizen watch. Same here. Chandler model chronograph, and it is excellent. And yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, man. This Blue Angels, the one watch that I have from Citizen, absolutely love it. And guess what, man? I was this close to going with the strap because the strap was cool. It was like blue and yellow. I'll pull it up on screen. But I ended up, and this was before I had the rule of going with bracelets. I don't know what came over me. This would be considered under what? This would be considered under, but for some reason, the last minute, man, I pulled the trigger on the bracelet, and I'm so happy that I did. Oh my Lord. I know it's first world problems, but dude, you could always go back, get the bracelet. It's so much easier. I said bracelet, so I'm looking at bracelets. This would be under the category of not ProMaster. What would be this under? Not Eco Drive. Come on. I forget what category this watch is under, man. I guess technically it's a chronograph. Should it come up then? Let's see. Aha. So this is the example. No, not compare. Now we're getting crazy. Oh, here. Fantastic watch, man. This is an absolute beast of a watch. And it's not because I just own it, but it's a fantastic watch, man. Just there's a lot going on. If you don't like busy dials, you'll lose your mind. But this is the way I was going to go. I think I got this on sale on Amazon too for like $350. Like seeing the prices right now, and of course we have price hikes, so you know, whatever. But yeah, I almost did the strap on this, and it doesn't show this here. This is crazy, bro. This is Citizen. You know how many pictures there should be of this watch? It says try it on. That's kind of fire. But the strap on the inside is yellow to match that kind of dial. So blue and yellow is the strap for this watch. It's a ridiculous watch, and I do absolutely love it. They have some cool stuff here with the ProMasters, Skyhawks. For some reason, man, this just sung to me a little bit more, and I went this way. I went with the bracelet, and I'm so glad that I did that. And I'll never look back. A lot of complications, radio controlled, like I showed you guys here. I don't know if it connects to radio controlled, honestly. I don't know. It must. It has to. No, like I don't think I don't think I've ever set this watch. It's always on the right date. It's always. Is it on the right time right now? Can I tell time? It's always exactly on the right time. It must be hitting that radio control some way, somehow. Solar powered. Fantastic watch, man. Fantastic watch. Small seconds adds a little something. Yeah, this is true. This is true. You make a very valid point, my friend. Series 8 is phenomenal line for Citizen. Let's take a look at that, sir. I should probably switch it over so you guys can look with me. Yes? Series 8. Let's see if we can find that. Series 8. Very nice. This is what we need to do, man. I think that if you think a brand is underrated and you're a content creator, bring it up, man. Bring it up in the conversation. Bring up the watches. This is definitely different for sure. Again, so this looks like it. This looks like an AP to me. Yes? Is that fair to say? This looks like an AP all day long. You got the integrated bracelet. You have that hectagonal shape. It's a pretty penny. It's a pretty penny, you know? And I'll tell you what, I don't know anything about this. This movement looks fantastic. This movement looks fantastic. Trying to read it off real quick. Caliber 9000. Okay, so this is what you were talking about. Yeah. Yeah. For me, I don't know what is going on, but I'm scrolling through these options, dude, and like for some reason, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Like for me, I don't, and again, it just might be because I'm a little desensitized to what I have in my collection already, to be fair. And I'll prove that to you, right? This got that AP type of look. Okay, cool. I've got the Casio that looks like that, right? That AP look. Nothing wrong with it. If I didn't have this, I'd probably be more attracted to that. Yes? That's an automatic. It's a 9000 series, so we're talking about apples and oranges. But the aesthetics, what it looks like, is what I'm talking about and what I'm focusing on. This is probably the reason why I'm just not jumping through the screen and adding to the cart. Like that Batman style, though. That's pretty cool. But the dial is kind of crazy on here. I do like that dial. I do like that brick pattern dial that some of these have. That's something different. No Cyclops. I'm a fan of that. Clean, man. But this dial is something different, man. Something different for sure. I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this at all. What else do we got here? Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Ski. ProMaster, that was brought up. I think Monk brought up ProMasters. Okay, so this is like so here we go, man. Like, you know, like I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a snob, dude. But like this is like a Rolex type of vibe to me. And look, the specs are definitely probably there. They're not. I'm not saying anything different. I'm just saying like this is the reason why maybe I haven't been that interested in Citizen in general. What am I missing? Do tell. What am I missing? All right, let's scroll down. That goes into some chronos. This is a super interesting watch. This is like a bullet head. Very busy pilots. Now these are something that piqued my interest a little bit. These ProMaster dives. I'm not mad at these. So now I haven't really looked into them. Let me scroll down and we'll go back. This is actually nice. This is actually a nice like summer type of vibe. That's not bad as well. This looks like a bronzo. We got some more. The website is set up a little funky chicken. I don't like these at all. These are just no two-tone, absolutely not. I like the crown. That's different. I like the crown on that side. That's very different. But let's go back. That's what interested me the most. And I've seen these pop up, and I think these are a topic of discussion when we talk about Citizen. I think these bad boys, yes. $695. So we've now reached into what would be comparable to a Prospex line, yes? To be fair, let's scroll up. This is Presage. I'm looking for Prospex. Here we go now. More or less. I mean, 6 and change, 7 and change, tomato. How you doing? 695, 700. Okay, so, and I've also seen this one a lot. That looks crazy. I do like that, though. All right, so what are we talking about as far as specifications go? How do they have this set up here? Eco Drive. So this is a ticker, yes? This is a ticker, which is fine. 300 meters of water resistance. Hello. That is different. That is a call out right there. That's a call out. Sapphire, that's a call out. But you're getting Sapphire on a Prospex for Seiko, to be fair. So I guess what? Does it come down to then? Because if I'm comparing those two divers, that one goes deeper, pause. But it's an Eco Drive, which is fantastic. I love Eco Drive. I have Eco Drive. This is an Eco Drive, right? Nothing wrong with it. Just ready to go. But when we're comparing it to the Seiko and somebody wanting an automatic caliber on there, maybe that's the difference. It's just a matter of taste. Do you want sushi? Do you want pizza? You know what I mean? Aesthetically, I mess with it. I do mess with this. And I need a red dial. You guys, why are you guys enabling me to buy a new watch? Now, how does the Loom compare from a Citizen to a Seiko? Is Seiko king on that? Is that fair to say? This looks like a C3. It's all greened up. And look, I'm talking ignorantly. You guys are hearing me rant. I've not gone to shops like Trap Vision 3D, like my man Travis, and actually touch and feel a lot of the Citizen watches to really compare them. There's definitely a stylistic difference. The only thing that I can say, and I will say, is that when we look at this also looks like a tuna to me. Is that fair? Like that type of shroud type of look, right? We've got the crown at that position. That's fine. I like the bold hands. I like where the position of the actual Cyclops is. I like that. Wait, first of all, date wheel aperture. Let's put a little baby loom here. Look at a little baby loom. It continues, though. It continues. There's no Cyclops. Sapphire crystal, professional divers. So this is, I guess, ISO certified. I guess that's what that's going to signify. 300 meters is fantastic. I do like the hands, like the cathedral style, but blown up, but bolded. They probably could have done with less text altogether, but I guess that's the draw into it. Nice case back. No thrills, no see-through. Maybe that would have been interesting. Oh, there are more photos. Hold on. I apologize. There are more photos here. More like a product. Here we go. It's a nice red, though. It's a nice burgundy red. Nice wine red. I'm not mad at this. And at that price, if you are a spec for value type of person, I get it. 300 meters sapphire. Again, though, if we talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, we are getting sapphire. 200 meters ISO. You get 300 meters. You get the tick. You know what, dude? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it's a different vibe. I'm going to say it's a different vibe altogether. It just comes down to, do you want an automatic? Which, to be fair, I think the automatic movement in the Seiko Turtle should be better. I don't think it's acceptable for it to be a step up and it not be a 28.8, right? Which is where Citizen comes in and puts the technology into it. So I guess the way you want to slice the apple and whatever you value is what you're going to lean into. And of course, the aesthetic differences are significantly different. So this depends on where you're going to go with it. Let me see what you guys are saying on chat. Let me catch up. Indiver Seikos has much longer history going back to the 60s that gave them way to more brand recognition and marketing share. That could be the reason why I'm brainwashed. Thank you so much for sharing that. There you go. This is why I love doing this. That makes a lot of sense, dude. That makes a lot of sense. In my own opinion, the best offering Citizens makes right now are the titanium. I heard about the titanium. We are going to take a look at the titanium too. It's called a what? Super? Is it called super titanium? Something like that. And I'm not a big fan of titanium. Yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with titanium either. I just modded the classic square from G-Shock with titanium. I'm not mad at it, but then again, modifying a G-Shock square and actually getting a titanium watch is not the same conversation because the material that you're getting originally is still light. But at the same time, I think that for titanium, and we've had this conversation before, there are a lot of other brands that make supersized watches that if they were titanium, it would be better. I'll give you guys an example. Here's where I lose a couple of people, I think. I don't know. I don't care. What's this? Hold on. I'll be right back. I've got this bad boy. Oh, the Joker from Invicta. I absolutely love this watch. It's so ugly, and I love it. It's a brick. It's so heavy. If this was in titanium, at the size that look at that sucker. It's as big as my head. If that was in titanium, and listen, that one stays in the box. I bust that out on Halloween because it's so heavy. If that was in titanium, my man, I would wear that ugly duckling way more often. So I think that the watch, if it's a certain watch that's trying to get crazy water resistance through thickness, then maybe it should be titanium because then it would make up for the weight, or at least it would offset it a little bit. It still wouldn't make up for it. Titanium is titanium. It's going to feel light. But a lot of people have a mental problem. Not a mental problem. They have they have an issue with titanium because it feels cheap, right? If I get a cheap quartz watch, it's super light. So when you pick up that cheap quartz watch that you bought for $20 and you pick up a titanium watch that's $2,000, you're like, it's just here. It's here. It's here. And technically, titanium is a better material. Funny enough. But I think that if it was on bigger watches, it would make more sense to it, if that makes sense. You know? Where was I? I want to take a look at it. But the 8,000 series are not cheap. They're not cheap. They are not cheap, affordable. You are absolutely right. I think that the NH Seiko movements are better than the Miyota 8,000 series. The 9,000s, in my opinion, are the best out of the three for now, but that's also still kind of new. Only time will tell how they will hold up. I would imagine, you're absolutely right, Monk, but I would imagine just by the sheer history and innovation and attention to detail, like, I don't think that Miyota is going to make, unless there's just a humongous F up, okay? I don't think that those movements are not going to stand the test of times. But at the end of the day, I don't have a what do you call it? I'm not a fortune teller. What is it called? I don't have a, whatever, you know what I'm saying. The original ProMaster A203 movement was about comparable to the SKX 7S26 when Citizen updated from the 8204 in like ProMaster compared to the Seiko for. Copy that. And that's the reason why I think that the 9000 series is just so much more respected altogether, you know, in general, when it comes to it. I like the old Series 8 case and the one that had I know, you know what, Dr. Bob's Nightmare, thank you for joining us. I don't know. I'm not privy to it, man. I've been sleeping on Citizen. I don't know how, man. I don't know how, but I guess you know what? No more Seikos. No more Seikos. If I'm going to go big brand, I'm going to force myself to get a Citizen moving forward. And guess what? Through this conversation today, and let me know. A lot of you know what my collection looks like. What do you suggest that I put in my collection for a Citizen watch? I may have to hunt down the website and narrow it down. I don't know. That diver that we looked at, that 300 meters, that's a possibility. But then again, I just told you that I'm trying to get away from exterior bezels. First world problem. Miyota 9K is basically their competitor for the Seiko 8L. That I do not know surely. I'm not privy to the 8L3, that one specifically. It's kind of weird that Citizen sells their GMTs for significantly more money than all the micro brands using the same movement. Is it the same exact movement, or is it something like how Seiko does, where they give it a different... Listen. And I don't know. I haven't done, like, I tried to dive into this for a little bit, but like, you know how Seiko does the NH movements and then it's the R whatever for their own stuff? Like, is there a significant difference other than it just being branded differently? Because you bring up a very good point. Like, how does that happen? How does that happen? But then again, look, when it's just like luxury brands, right? Like, big brands like Citizen, you're also paying for the name. You're paying for the... That's it. Yes, it has history. They have history as well. If you have a problem with their watches, you have a big brand for you to reach out to and get in contact with. All these other things. So perhaps it's just that, bro. Perhaps what you're seeing, the meat on the bone that's left that you were talking about, Mr. Monk, is just the fact that you're getting the name. New ProMasters are a bit meh. To be honest, it's worth looking up the older left-handed crown, specifically the ProMaster Fuji. Copy that. I meant the ProMaster. I meant the... copy that. I don't own one. Put a Manta. Manta is definitely... We're going to look at Manta since you brought it up, kind sir. And we've had conversations. Actually, that was a spicy pick that Travis brought up. Monta watches. That was a spicy pick that Travis brought up, so I will bring up their website so we can take a look at it. But I definitely agree that they are also underrated, man. And we'll talk about the reason why I think that's true to be true. Oscar agrees. Citizen, NY, ProMaster Seiko, ProMaster. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's what equals the turtle. If I could find a red dial Orient Pro. Yo, let's bring up Orient now that you said it. But let me finish reading your comment. Saturation diver 300, the old MSRP. I'd snap one up. The prices have exploded on them after. Discontinued, though. I missed the boat. Yeah, well, that's how it goes, boo-boo. We'll look at Monta soon. I believe I had Orient. So we have Orient here as well. I think they're another name that needs to be brought up. And they're not brought up as much, bro. Like, seriously. Like, after the Orient Bambino, like, how many reviews did you see of Orient after that? Like, it was just a wrap after that. And, like, I had a new collector also ask me, like, I did a wrist shot, right? I recently wore my Orient Bambino. It's a Bambino. He's a good boy. And I actually put it in my original strap. It actually, like, I had an ostrich strap on this, and this was the, I want to say this is the Series 3. I might be wrong. This is one of those Teddy Baldazar reviews that he did on it. He did a different version, but I ended up going with this one because I believe the hand is, that doesn't matter. This is a fantastic watch. It's an in-house movement. And everybody loses their mind over in-house movements. Yet Orient, they do that. And they do that at a very affordable price. I'll tell you what, man, if you like dress watches, you can't go wrong with this. Period. Hand wind, hacking, hand wind, quick date change. I mean, dress watches like this are not my really, and I don't know why I'm doing that. I could just bring up the website. But dress watches are not really like my forte. But I'll tell you what, man, if it is for you, there's just so many to choose from. 285. And then you could just run down the gamut, right? You could just run down the gamut. This is a Series 2. This looks like, okay, I was wrong. What did I say, Series 3? I got the Series 2. Is this the Series? Is that the one that I have? Nah, something don't feel right. Let's keep going. Something don't feel right. That strap don't look right. That ain't the strap unless they change the strap, Then they came with the little second hand. That's classic. That was a good move. That was a good move to stay in the conversation. Yes? Where did my thing go? Did I just drop it? Here it is. Let me see. I really don't even remember. I think it's the version 2 that I have. I think this is it, but this strap don't look right. But this might be it. This was a big conversational piece when this was out, the version 2. It was a big conversational piece. Again, in-house movement. Look at the price, though. Look at the price. You tell me. Hold on. 1 second. Wait a minute. Let's not blow past that. Can you please tell me another watch on there that's telling you it has an in-house movement that's going to charge you this price? Don't worry. I'll wait. But they ran with this. And every version got a little bit more expensive. They started doing this with the second hand. The blued hand, people became a sucker for. You have the cream dial. I mean, when it comes to classic, this is more of like a diamond or onion-shaped crown at this point. Matter of fact, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Mine is the same thing. This is just blown up. Then you had version 7. I don't know how we went from 2 to 7 here. I don't know what's going on this website. It should have just went down the numbers, but these are nice soft palette colors. Fantastic. I mean, the price point is there, man. $300 still. But again, when they did this, right, they started giving us bracelet. Like, they just had a field day. And it didn't get beat up like how, like, let's say a Moon Swatch would, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just a respected dress watch altogether. I need a red. I won't get another Orient Bambino, but I'm looking for a red. I'm looking for a red dial to add to my collection as well. Couple of things. Like, I want an internal rotating bezel and I want a red dial. I just got to find one that really, and I kind of have one, but I don't. You know what I mean? That type of thing. I'm not into open hearts, but they did that as well, right? But just another watch that really I don't know what happened to it. I guess it got beat over the head. But I want to show this. I'm showing this right now. The reason why I'm showing this is because there are people out there that are brand new to watch collecting that are looking for it. This is cool. This one on mesh. That's a little different. And we have a see-through case back. There's just so many options, man. If you're looking for your first mechanical and you're super into dress watches and a vintage type of style and look, you cannot go wrong with this, man. And then we have some solar quartz. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I didn't even know they went into that. That's kind of cool. But here's the deal. Here's the point. Let me catch up on chat. The point is that I feel like they're underrated too, and it's not just for it's not just for the Bambino, because they were respected at one point. The Mako was talked about, bro. The Mako at one point on, and like this is when I first got into watch collecting, so I want to say this was 4 or 5 years ago. Like it was talked about a lot. Citizen is all their titanium offers. Also look at the Citizen. Those watches are wildly accurate. Yeah, bro, they're fantastic. I don't know why. And stop the cap, man. I'm gonna call you Captain Cap from now on. Stop the cap, Dr. Bob's. Dr. Bob's likes the peanut gallery. Invicta that I'm wearing now is humongous, 65 millimeters titanium. Wait a minute. So you have a titanium. If it were stainless steel, I would not wear it. Thank you, Oscar. You're the man, bro. You're the man. I wish mine were titanium. I have the opposite problem. And you know what? Just for that, Travis, I'm blown up, right? Just for that, Travis, I'm going to show you another Invicta. So these are the two Invictus watches that I have. And listen, when I first started watch collecting, man, I was into this really big watch. So I have that Joker. Now, this is the official one. This is like the first one they came out with, the DC. The reason why I got this one is because I loved Heath Ledger. I think Heath Ledger of all time played the best Joker. Although, what's that cat's name that just played it? They were completely different. I feel like Heath Ledger played the best lean into the Joker as like more of the comic, the comic book version. And what's his name? Jacqueline, you know, guy, Phoenix, that Phoenix guy. He played more into like if Joker was a real life person. I'm getting off topic. But that was the reason why I got it. It sits in my watch box. I just changed the battery. Is it still ticking? It is ticking. The battery lasts for like 5-6 years. I battled going back and forth of selling this bad boy so many times. And I even talked to the wife and she's like, just keep it, man. Like, I'm like, yeah, but I wear it once a year. I wear it on Halloween. It's like my Halloween costume. And then I have this bad boy, this crazy funky chicken. And I'm attached to it because me and my wife hunted this one specifically down early on in my watch collecting. Both are bricks on the wrist. I never wear this one. In fact, if I go to my tracker of watches that are on wrist, it says no time. It says never worn on there. And that's the truth. They're bricks. But if they were titanium, bro, and I think that that's where titanium, and I get people have a lot of problem with it. I think that that's where titanium would shine. And I don't think that's exclusive to those crazy, humongous watches. I think that also goes for a 42 that has a lot of thickness to it. That would work as well. That's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it. Jump scare warning, please. I have a... Are you talking about when I just like go into my crazy tangent and I just freak out real quick when I just randomly jump out of nowhere? Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the Invicta 9000s are easier to regulate, higher beat, and a lot thinner than the 100%, bro. And that's 100% the reason why they're more respected for sure. And as they should be, But again, and I guess that Seiko kind of, because Orient's under the Epson group, yes. We don't see, and there are a couple of watches out there. There are a couple of Chinese brands that uses Orient movements, their version too, but that one gets very rarely talked about and very rarely seen. But for sure, Miyota is respected, and when it comes to the 9000 series, especially, I don't even really mess with the 8000 series. I'm becoming a snob. I think I'm becoming a snob. That's what's happening. But I don't even mess with the 8000 series. I look at the 8000 series like an NH movement, and at that point, I might as well go with the NH movement because it's still going to be cheaper. Yes. But the 9000 series blows the NH out of the water. The ProMaster, without a doubt. To be fair, it's slightly different. Monta is a great watch brand in my humbled opinion, and I'm gonna get to that. Surprised to see the Casio. Surprised to see that Casio put NH35 in their first mechanical. They really should have done their own movement. You know what? I think I know what you're talking about. I definitely saw a video on that. And hey man, here's the deal. It's just the robustness of it. That movement is like, it's so cheap, and it's just a workhorse. It just keeps on going. And then it's not high beats, so there's less wear and tear. You know what I mean? Should you be that surprised though? Because Casio's king of affordability. So when it comes to something being really affordable and being a workhorse, that's kind of on par to their whole setup of their watches in general, is it not? But I get what you're saying. Like, as their first unveil to a mechanical, should they have gone above and beyond? Wise or underrated? And we're going to talk about Wise. I'm in conversation, Monk, by the way, with Wise. Supposedly, I have one of their ADXs coming in. At least that's where I left off with them. Probably do. So we're going to see what it's all about, baby. They're definitely underrated, bro. And the more homework you do on Wise, the more you unveil. Like, if you don't even know what the brand is and who we're talking about, like, dude, I would put Wise up there with Zelos. Vibe-wise. You know what I mean? Like they're not the same horse, but they run at the same speed. Get what I'm saying? Different breed, but they run at the same speed. NH35 bought in bulk or dirty? Yeah, dude, super dirty. Dr. Bob's, you're not lying. Like, it's got to be filthy. I'm talking, what would you say, bro? Like, are we talking about a 10,000 movement order? $5? $10? Filthy cheap. Because if you figure the public can get their hands on it for 25, 30, right? And they're workhorses. Barrelum. I don't know who that is. Hold on. Watches. Let me type them in. We'll take a look at it. Internal rotating bezels, Spinnaker. Yeah, Spinnaker does one. There's a lot of people that do internal rotating bezels. I mean, when I say that, I mean specifically for a diver, because I do have the Nomoki version of the Sarb, but that don't count. I'm talking about like an actual diver. Spinnaker has. There's a whole bunch of people that we just had a Edward Christopher that had it as well. That was an official dive watch. But I'm in no rush. It's still the category of divers still, yes? 65 millimeter, yeah, that's a wall clock. It's big. I own 3 titanium watches, 2 Invictus, and 1 Citizen. Bro, I'm like you, Oscar. I strive to own everything. It just so happened that the more affordable watches are just so much more accessible. But I plan to own the whole gamut, yes? I even mentioned going to luxury brands sooner or later, right? Once I'm done playing with the affordable brands. I'm not talking about Richard Millie's, right? But the entry-level stuff. I hate even saying entry-level. The more affordable stuff, like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Once we get to 10, I'm like, oh my God. Well, who knows? Seiko has a better design and better loom. Seiko has a better design and better loom. Okay, Citizen might have the best Q. That is a very good point. Build quality in all watchmaking and that's a very good point. If you want to get super nerdy and you want to talk about, because some people, bro, listen to me. If you get a misaligned anything and you're a big brand and some people receive that, they're pissed. They're like, dude. So listen, for hard-earned money, because look, $3 to $5 to $700 to $800 to on some of the watches that we looked at. That's not cheap, bro. That's definitely not cheap. So to get that and get misaligned, now the running joke is that it ain't a Seiko unless it's misaligned, but for sure. All right, let me pause it right there on chat and let's go back into what we are considering to be underrated. So first and foremost, let me bring up that, but let me go to this and let me finish off with Orient. Bambino is what we talked about. So I had to throw this one in, guys, for the people that are new to watch collecting, and I know that's definitely like attractive to them. But let's look at some of the sports. Let's look at the Mako real quick. I just want to see if I eyeball anything. And look, if I'm talking about my red dial, there goes my red dial right there. But I want to take a quick peek at it. And look, this is like your no frills, no thrills, diver watch that we're starting off here. And how many meters is this? We're talking 20 bar. Okay, so 200 meters. That's fine. I accept that. I haven't looked at a Kamasu. There's a whole bunch of different lines that they have with this. Champagne dial's interesting. Another red dial. Okay, so not necessarily a Seiko, but kind of like a Seiko. Get what I'm saying? And this, I would imagine, is quartz, obviously. Okay, these are out of stock, so somebody somewhere likes them, or they're starting to not make them no more. But the price point is kind of crazy, bro. Like, this needs to be talked about more. Now we have these vibrant colors for $230. What are we talking about as far as caliber, sir? So still in-house stuff, right? I would imagine that this F69222 or 22 automatic hack hand winding, I'm considering that to be an in-house with them still. So yeah, man. I mean, you can't go wrong even when we talk about the diver section for them. Now this is the Kano. I'm not sure what the biggest difference is for the Kano to the other ones. Things look a little bit more bolder. Maybe there's a ceramic bezel. Let's take a look at the movement. Did that change? F6922. I think that was the same thing. But it's just all like aesthetics, man. And now we're getting into the $400 range. I don't like these. These are kind of interesting, but not. And then it bleeds over to, so it's a little all over the place. It goes back to like a dress format for $200. These are funky chickens. These are super funky chickens. What is going on over there? Just taking a scan, man. Just taking a scan. I think there's one more version of diver. Nope. Nope. No, this goes into the Bambino again. That's a very weird way to lay that out. But let's go into Manta. Let me see what you guys are saying on chat. Let me try to catch up. That was like Inception. Kind of boring to be. Seiko and Citizen are kind of boring. I liked Seiko on a couple of models, Thelone, but you know what? You may not be wrong, bro, because I may be just like a little biased because the Arnie was me because of the movie. The movie. The Turtle was me because of the fit. It was a little interesting on the dial, so you might not be wrong, bro. I don't want fun, cool colors. Eric Mack is in the building. What's going on, sir? Check out the Christopher Ward. Yeah, that super compressor I'm fully aware of, bro. For sure. I mean, you're right. I guess if I'm really talking about it internal, let me bring that up. Christopher Ward watches. Christopher Ward watches. That's definitely a thing, yes? I guess I should bring you guys along with the ride, right? Yeah, I guess you're right. If we're talking about compressors, where is it? Where is it? Super compressor. Let's try the super compressor. Here we are. Yeah, that's it. That's it. For $1240, and here we go. Here we go. This is when you know you've been collecting for a while and you're getting desensitized. $1240 no longer sounds crazy for me on price. And plus I know the value that goes into Christopher Ward at this point. So be advised that we're coming from that point of reference. Yeah, I guess you're right, bro. I guess if I want to go internal rotating bezel, I go here. I go to Christopher Ward. That makes a lot of sense. That's a beautiful watch. It's a beautiful watch. The whole line is probably absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like being nerdy and wanting all the things and wanting all the specifications for sure. What are we talking about, by the way? When we talk about their super compressor, that's what I want to know. What are we talking about as far as Supernova, Grade X, stainless steel, sapphire, obviously. I guess I could just look at the dial. I want to know how many meters of water resistance. And I'll tell you what, man, when you do these things live, SW200, so you're getting that Sellita, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, this would be it. This would be it. I'm surprised the specifications just aren't like in your face. 500 feet, yeah, I mean, 500 feet, 100 feet. I'm surprised it's only 150 meters, but to be honest with you, dude, guys, can I say something? I'm kind of over the fact that I'm going for like, oh, but it has to have 200 meters and 300 meters. I'm like, in what scenario in my real life, though? You know what I mean? Like, in what scenario, what real life scenario is Skylar Santana gonna need a 300-meter watch? Is it cool? Yeah, I have one of those. Hell, I have a 500-meter watch. I'm over needing that. I like the design. I think that's cool enough. As long as the watch, for whatever I physically will put it through, can keep up with, I should just straight go for every other spec in the world and get over the 500-meter need that I think that I need just to have in my collection. Second, and I guess it's easier to say that because I have one in my collection already, but I'm just saying, bro, like things are changing with me real quick. Second hour watches. Oh, you guys are just throwing brands at me right now. Model internal rotating bezel. I'll check that out as well. Second hour. I feel like I've heard of that too. Second hour. No, I need the watches. Always need the watches because otherwise they think you're talking about who knows what. Second hour watches. Take a look at that as well. Yeah, I definitely seen that logo before. They're actually popping up a lot more often from what I'm seeing as far as like what's going on in the world. They apparently have a compressor too. How do I navigate this website? They're all a little different collections. All watches. I guess it'll hit me in the face, right? That compressor style. Here we go. $950. So you get a deal, Dolan. You get a deal if you go with this second hour. Knee-jerk reaction. The design doesn't really like necessarily tickle my fancy, but I've said that that's a sick loom layout though. Sometimes about the loom, it's not just about the level of glow. Sometimes it's the way they lay it out. And I'll give you guys an example. Like my Mark Time, like the railroad tracks on it, like just the way it's laid out, that's BGW9, yes? But when that's, imagine though everything white on the outside of that dial being illuminated, sometimes it's not necessarily how many layers and is it BGW9, is it loom blocks, is it this, is it that? Sometimes it's the layout that does it for you. Get what I'm saying? That's a pretty cool layout. Just by the shapes and everything else. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, that's an option. I'm guessing this is an SW200 as well, yes? Sellita, it has all the things. How many meters of water resistance after I just told you guys it doesn't really matter? Sometimes, it still matters in the point I'm going to look, but is it going to stop me? No, 1200 Vickers is another thing to. Now, I don't know if Christopher Ward has that as well. I'm not trying to put the two up against each other. I'm just saying 200 meters. Yeah, that's there. That's there. Switch over to Monta. Let's talk about Monta. Let me catch up on chat. Let's talk about Monta, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Inception. There we go. Thank you for putting me onto that. I've definitely seen their watches though. Like Instagram had their feed pop up a couple times for me. I know a couple of enthusiasts talked about second hour. So I didn't know they had an internal rotating bezel though. That's pretty cool. Wish the dial and the crystal was a little growing up like the Longines. Yeah, give it a little bit of time, bro. Christopher Ford is making strides. When you talk about catching up to brands like Longines, it's not going to take them long. Yes. Agreed citizen is boring while somebody is really becoming a movie. I am becoming a snob, bro. Listen to me. Now, here's the deal. When it comes to watch collecting, the word snob is probably not a good thing. But when it comes to like somebody who's like a wine collector or a cigar collector and they're called snobs, it's more like, it's more like a positive when you say that. It's just a connoisseur. I am becoming a movement snob. Like, here's the deal, bro. That's what happens. And let me clarify. There's a difference. I am becoming a snob, partially, to certain things. It's not that I'm becoming a snob. It's just I'm becoming numb to it, and it's because I have them. Now, would I say that? See, the difference between a true snob and look, I know you're just poking the bear, but there are people that may not be able to read between the lines and know our relationship for you saying such a thing. So I want to be crystal clear to other people who tune in. By the way, thank you for watching this on the playback if you are, and everybody live. I do appreciate the banter. Where was I going? Now, if I were to say that all NH34 movements are trash, meanwhile I was a sick advocate for them all along, that's a different conversation. That's not happening. I'll always have my utmost respect for it. However, I got 10 watches with NH34s and NH35s, NH movements, period, right? I know a 34 is different from a 35. I understand that it's a GMT. It's still an NH movement. Fantastical. And I never will get to the point where I will not put a watch in my collection just because it has an NH movement, if we're using that as an example. If I love the design, if I love what the brand is doing, maybe they do a little modification for it. But even if they don't, if a watch has something in it that I feel like my collection needs, and it has an NH34, NH35, NH36, NH38, doesn't matter. I would definitely put it in my collection. That will not stop me from now to 10 years from now. So when I say I'm becoming a snob, I joke around and I kid, but it's just curiosity. I don't have a Le Jouferet. I don't have all those kind of calibers that I'm not used to. I ran out. I have SW200, but I don't have a lot of them. Yes. So maybe I just need a different. What is it? Diversity is the spice of life. Variety is the spice of life. Just saying. Raymond D, this is a write-up, okay? Because I think I may be wrong. I think this may be your second offense. At this point, you got the warning, but now you got the write-up. I'm gonna need you to sign. Don't you hate that? I don't know if anybody's ever gotten a write-up before, but it's like I was in my 20s once upon a time, and I had to sign a couple of those. There's nothing more degrading than having to sign a write-up. Raymond D, this is a write-up at this point. You're on notice. I saw that Wise, and I do like even the 904 steel. It's different. Yes, I don't. Where would you even go for a 904 stainless steel? You understand what I mean? How it compares to Zelos at this point? Like, who else is doing it? 904 steel as a micro brand, as an independent brand, whoever, whatever. And I think they do 904 steel for all of their watches. Plus, I don't know if you guys are privy to what they're doing to their links, how the links get adjusted by you just pulling and twisting. We're going to find out. You're going to learn today, buddy. You're going to learn today. There are a few really exciting brands coming up at the moment. Wise, RZE, and Second Hour spring to mind. Okay. And we're going to find out. We're going to find out. I heard of RZE as well. Wise I'm privy to. Second Hour I'm privy to. I haven't put my grubs on it yet. Like, I haven't really, like, you know what I mean? But it's starting to pop up. They're starting to pop up. And they're talked about. There's the thing, man. Influencers, man. Influencers. It drives. It works. I would not know about Second Hour like that prior to this conversation. Like, you guys put me on. You guys are the family, so I trust you guys indefinitely. But I'm saying, like, they started popping up. Instagram feed and wrist rolls and content creators and stuff like that. So we're going to find out. Wise 88. Do the 88 Thailand? So they asked me. The 88 and the 80X were the two options that I could have went with. I tried to finesse the 88 Thailand edition, and they didn't have the bracelets for it, bro. They didn't have the bracelets for it. Otherwise, I would have went with the Geneva stripes, burgundy dial. Ooh, we gotta bring that up right now. We gotta bring that up. Hold up. Wait a minute. We're gonna get it. We're gonna go back into Manta. I know I said I was gonna talk about Manta, but we're all over the place. Wise watches. I didn't even come close to spelling that right. But, you know, Google. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? I hate these pop-ups. I'm so excited, man. I really hope this thing's in the mail. I'm really excited to finally touch and feel one of these watches. Oh, bro, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is an 88. Woo, buddy. I mean, this just does it for me. You can't really see it, and I'm sure it's more obvious, but this has Geneva stripes going down the middle, this burgundy color, because I told you guys I need a red dial, right? Kind of goes on theme with what we were talking about. I'm not a big two-tone guy, but the way this was done, and I'll tell you what, if it were me, and it is, I would definitely go with the Thailand numerals. I would not go with the Arabic typical numerals. I was going to go with this, but they were out of the bracelets, and I think that they were not getting it back in for, I think he said August. So I was like, can't wait till then, my guy. We'll circle back. I might even just purchase it, man. I might just even purchase that one. And that's a limited edition. I'm so mad. I'm so mad I couldn't get that on bracelet. But ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know about Wiseman, and look, if you don't know about the Wiseman, if you don't know about Wiseman, and then look with the blue too, bro. I mean, look at it. Gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. Look at that watch. It's so gorgeous. And you know what I like about Wise? What really struck me the most? Like, look, I got privy to it from guys like Monk and Wrist Rolls on social media and watch communities. But like the hand that they choose, the style of hand, it just has its own identity. It has everything else going for it. It's 904 stainless steel. They only really use like Miyota, true GMT when you talk about their GMTs. Why did it do this? ADX, 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 ADX. Where is it? This is their newer one, by the way. I don't know. Fuego que no, que no. I think this is very nice. I think it's very nice. There was no way they were gonna invest in me on that much. But still, if you look at this, True Travelers, fantastic. There's a lot of reviews on it too, man. So I've yet to see somebody say that they didn't like it, but True Travelers is what you're getting here. Price point is there, right? $690. Wait a minute, $690. Oh, it's not on bracelet. The bracelet version is like $720. But I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Doesn't look like. I mean, of course, people are gonna be like not trolls, but they're gonna be like, oh, like a Rolex or stuff like that. But for me, like, nah, bro. Like, sorry to tell you, like this looks. Where's the ADX? Am I blind or what? ADX, right? No, not this. Not specifically that one. I need. Oh man, here we are. Adamascus. If you look at this on bracelet, 760, not 720. Apologies. On bracelet, man. Let's just get a zoom in on this. Oh my God. Fantastic. And I know some people will compare this to Rolex, but nah, I don't think so. BGW9 with the hour hand. Do they have the loom shot here? They do BGW9 and C3 for the hour. I mean, it's just fantastic, man. I got nothing against it. Got nothing against it at all. I'm excited for it. Timex is also, hold on. Timex is also has some rotating internal bezels. You got to put me on to the models, bro. Hit me on the DM and let me know what models those are. Hey, beautiful. Wife is home. You know what that means. We got to land this plane and I got to go to husband mode, ladies and gentlemen. That's what's going to happen here soon. I'm behind the video, I think. I'm behind on that video, I think, Skylar, my man. You get a full loom. Dial automatic Pro Masters like 200 on Jump. That's crazy. ISO $200 all loom dial, bro. Send me the link. What are you talking about? Like, why did you not send me the link? Are we not friends? Vincent H is in the building. What's going on, brother? I do wish they. I want to read everything, but I should be reading stuff that's addressed to me. How do you think that the new Tudor? Would your wife rock that? The new Tudor? Oh, you're talking about the pink dial one, bro? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if she would rock that. It's fitting that she just came home. Tudor watches. Maybe she wants to take a peek and let us know. But she just came home, so you gotta let her settle in. The new Tudor. Trying to pull that up. Oh, hold on. I didn't switch screens. My bad. You're talking about that all pink one? Is it the pink one? Wait, am I mixing that up with Blancpain? Bro, you can't bring up big brands, bro. When it comes to big brands, I need a roadmap. I would imagine it comes to the landing page. I'm not sure which one we're talking about. If it's this red one, that's an absolute no. I don't even have to ask her. If it's this Black Bay 58 all red, she definitely would not rock this. For sure. For sure. But you guys saw the Blancpain. You know which one I'm talking about, right? The all pink one? That was interesting. Everybody thought it was a swatch. Glycine is another name. You're absolutely right, Trap. Glycine is definitely like I feel like we have to do a part 2 of this. Matter of fact, if you're still tuned into this, other than the people that are live here, if you're watching this in the playback, let me know a list of underrated brands, and we'll do a part 2 of this if you like this. Glycine is definitely underrated. I looked at a couple of Glycines, and dude, when you talk about value, when you talk about history, Glycine is super underrated. I need to bring Glycine to the surface as well, for sure. We'll do that. By the way, seeing a new automatic Casio, of course, she's anti-certified, but it does look very promising. Yeah, I'm going to look more into that. I've heard about it. I think I glanced at it. Portable side of homages. But I'm gonna look more into that for sure. Matter of fact, after we end this live, I'll probably look at it. Even Glycine is Invicta now. I don't care. Dr. Pops, that's not nice. So, dude, here's the thing. I turned off. Okay. Here's the thing, bro. Invicta and Glycine both have, I mean, everybody thinks of the gaudy Invictas when you say the word, but both of those companies, bro, have so much history, man. If you look at the history of them, you can get into it much more if you look at it like that. Not so much for the new stuff. If you're not into it, you're not into it. I get it. Orient F movements are made by Epson. Copy that. Yes, Invicta did buy Glycine. Orient is a sub-brand of Seiko. I don't know. Is it considered a sub-brand, or is it just considered under the umbrella? I guess that's the same difference, right? What am I talking about? But yes, it's all under the Epson group. Timex, just what I think anyway. Discontinued the 36 Solar Weekender Expedition North. Rest in peace. I never was into the Expedition. I always respected that watch from afar. I never bought it. But I respected the hell out of it for sure. They need to ditch the SW200 if they want to catch up. I much prefer the Miyota 9s over the SW200. That's a hot take, I think, bro. I think that's a hot take. Because here's the deal, no matter what, like I see what you're saying. Like what you're saying is like tit for tat. What you're saying is like you're probably saying like longevity and workhorse ability. That's a new term, by the way. Look it up. I think you're saying that Japan will take the cake when it comes to it from the Miyota 9000 series over the SW200. Certainly not the problems that the SW200 was having with the date problems before they fixed that. But I don't know, bro, because, and I maybe I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but the SW200 also can come with different calibers. Yes, Elaborate, top grade, Kosk. So if we're talking about standard SW200, yeah, but you can also talking about, I think you mentioned this, right? Am I going crazy? Did my masters die? You said that if they want to catch up, ditch. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess it's just a matter of what caliber we're talking about. We need to visit that topic live. Will specs deter you from buying a visual appealing timepiece? Yeah, that's a conversation for sure. That's definitely a topic. We'll put that on ice until me and you are both live for sure. I love that topic. What do you think about the Zelos and the Miyota 9000 series? I'm a big advocate for it, bro. I'm a big advocate for it. Is this a 9000 series? I think it is. I'm a big advocate for Zelos and the 9000 series, Meteorite, Dial, Mako. I think this was the 9000 series. I did a whole review. This is why they call me the learning professional. It is a 9000 series. I'm putting my money on it. Zelos, what do I think about Zelos? I get it now. Like, I get why people are so hyperactive about it. Like, once I touched and felt that watch and did a deep dive and really like, and like that was like not even one of their, dude, I get it. Like Zelos, you can, and then if you just look at like, you know how they say B2B? I'm gonna say E to E. Enthusiast to enthusiast sell on a Zelos, like the value stays there. And in fact, it goes up. If you miss, think what you want, feel how you want. If you miss a release, you might be, what hurt. But sometimes the values go up on those pieces, but for the most part, they hold. And especially from enthusiast to enthusiast on a trade or sell, dude, Zelos they're up there. They're king. They're king. They're king. They're one of the top dogs for sure. When it comes to micro brands, watch enthusiast brands, yeah, for sure. Laco makes some nice ETA powered watches for that great price. Really, I thought when you say Laco, unless you're comparing it to the Tudor price that we were talking about before, for sure. Pulled up in the worst colorway for the 88. Wait, my man pulled up the worst colorway for the. No, stop the cap. Pull up the light blue, bro. Why are you first and foremost? Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just so infatuated with the fact of me getting a red dial in my collection, 88 blue dial. You probably own this, bro. You biased too. I'm biased. You biased too. It's a nice Fume though. Looking for bracelet. They have both. They usually do like. Here we go. He's probably talking about this bad boy right here. Your blueberry loving Mama Jamma. It's a nice Fume. And then also there's attention to dial always attention to the details in the dial. And they put the date wheel at the right position. Like, you see what I'm saying? They have their own identity with this hand alone, right? This is the typical diver look. But the fact that they put more details into the actual dial itself, the fact that the date wheel aperture is at the 6 o'clock position, the fact that it's 904 stainless steel, like there's enough into here to justify and give it its own identity. And when we talk about the categories of web brands in general, they got a lot of them beat. That's my opinion. They got a lot of them beat. Yeah, Monkey's coming after me, Oscar. I'm glad you like that. Longines Legend Diver has. Yeah, man, we're going to be talking about Longines on here soon. I never got to Manta. We're going to get to Manta real quick. We're going to blow through it, and then I'm going to peel off, ladies and gentlemen. The new Blue Tudor Black Bay 54. Copy that. Let's take a peek real quick. 54. Boom. Boom. And you said the 54. I'm going to guess this is it. That says 68. Bro, I'm so lost. I don't think I've ever been on Tudor's webpage. Black Bay. 54. Would it be here? No. Let's see. Kind of hard for me to scroll over. Hang on one second. I'm guessing. Can I get the corner of this? 68. Did you say that, or am I seeing things? You said 54. Let's see if I can find it. I can't find it. I can't find it, bro. And we got to land this plane soon, so I do apologize. We'll look that up again, is what I meant. I'll take a look at it, though. Blue Tudor. T-Monk with the super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. And he says upvote. You're a legend. You're an absolute legend for sure. Oh, you gave me the thing too. Can I copy that? Oh, I'm on the thing though. Dude, I feel so bad. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. 68. I don't see it. That's the crazy thing. Like, dude, if you come out with something new, why is it not on your landing page? That's my problem with you. You know what I mean? I guess I'm spoiled from actually web-based brands. But I really... Wait, did you say it was a 54? You did say it was a 54. The Blue Lagoon. You know what? She might like this. Tiffany Blue. Babe, do you like Tiffany Blue? She likes Tiffany Blue. She might like this, man. And it would only cost me $4,350. So 37 millimeters. Yeah, she might like this. She might like this. This is clean. It's simple. And you know what? She's actually interested in steel as well. 200 meters. Yeah, this is clean, dude. Am I showing you guys? Did I bring it up on screen? I did. This is clean. I'm not mad at this. I'm not mad at this at all. Super clean. Absolutely. Good suggestion. Appreciate the super chat, my guy. And he said upvote. He super chat and he said upvote. That's a real one. That's what we call a real one. Kind of like the new Tudor. The blue is icy. Yes, yes. I think that's what we just brought up. Ben 10 is in the building. All right, let's take a peek at Manta, and then we peel it off. Yes, Manta. Here we go. All right, so this is another brand that was brought up that was considered to be underrated. And I'll tell you what, man, off rip, the reason why this is underrated, if it is that it definitely gives you a really strong homage type of feel for Rolex, right? And that's going to turn a lot of people off. And does that turn me off? Absolutely not. And I'll go even further, right? This is a Rolex sub. I mean, come on. What are we talking about? But can I say something that's crazy right now? This is going to piss some people off. This might Ben 10, I need you to close your ears. I honestly believe, and maybe a little bit more, but I honestly believe that Rolex should cost, like a Rolex sub, this is the price of what a real Rolex sub costs or should cost. Because here's the deal. I think that everybody should be able to obtain set excellence. And so you're not going to get that with a brand that you pay a lot for the name. That's the game. And that's okay. And I'm not saying that Rolex is not a phenomenal company, because they're a phenomenal brand. And you guys know that I have a lot of respect for it. What I'm saying is at the end all be all cost for set watch, that's where it should be at. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 3. I'm not even mad if a Rolex sub no date was $5,000, okay? And they wanted a little extra cheese for the name. But $9,000, $10,000, kick rocks. Kick rocks. That's all I'm going to say. Kick rocks. No shot. But here's the deal. Manta is gravely underappreciated because they resemble a lot from Rolex, and that's going to turn a lot of people off automatically. For me, that doesn't stop me. That doesn't stop me at the tracks. But I'm not super crazy. Like, there's nothing that really super excites me. They're all super clean. I know that they're all super well built. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I guess maybe I'm desensitized from messing around with a lot of homage watches myself at a way more affordable rate. What do you guys want me to look at? You want me to look at the Atlas? You want me to look? So this is like, Noble, Ocean King. So let's just pull this up for argument's sake. Okay, 300 meters, fantastic. And look, for sure, there's so much. Okay, so I guess this is an in-house movement since they're calling it the Manta Caliber M22. So that's crazy. Like, to have an in-house movement, and we've seen in-house movements from most recently Venetianico. We've seen Christopher Ward, and they not this price. They're way more. So if that's the case, and maybe I'm going crazy, but for 300 meters. Fantastic. Obviously, it's going to be screw down crown. I mean, just look at the watch, man. I'm sure it's like diamond cut and all that stuff. Like, I'm sure if you took a jeweler's loop, BGW9, I'm sure if you took a jeweler's loop to this thing and you looked really close as hard as you can for a speck of dust, you probably wouldn't even see it too. I mean, this is where it's at, man. This is where it's at. And Manta doesn't discount. Look, they even have the clasp, the type of clasp. So I'll tell you this, man, and I'll end off on this note. And I don't think Manta would ever say this directly because that would be a very big litigation. But I think Manta's like, dude, this is what it really costs, and this is what you really should be paying. And we're going to put all blood, sweat, and tears into this. Now, of course, I don't have every little detail to do the comparison for. I'm doing like a bird's eye view, and I'm giving you what I feel overall. But I think what Manta's doing and what they're saying here is that if you want that and you don't want to spend 10 grand, but you want something that it's going to feel super luxury and have all the things and look very close to, because I'll tell you what, it rings my bell for the fact that it doesn't have the Mercedes hands. And that's just another example of me being desensitized, because when it comes to like the cheaper homages, they use the Mercedes hands all day long. So I'm so glad that they didn't do that. I mean, that was a smart move. But I'm pretty sure, and I haven't held this in my hand, I've seen it at a show. For some reason, I never picked it up. but I'm pretty sure in hand, this is going to be, and this is going to feel super, super luxury. I'll end off on this note. Ben, if you're watching this still, and I'm pretty sure you are, you're probably in chat. My point is this. If I handed you 2 Mantas and 1 Rolex of the example that I just showed you, you probably wouldn't be able, if blindfolded, to tell me which one is the Rolex. Out of 5 guesses, you maybe guess once. Just saying. That's my hot take on it. And that's where we're going to end things, ladies and gentlemen. And I think this needs a part 2. What I need from you to make this a part 2 is I need you to tell me the brands that you feel, like you guys have been in chat telling me all along, the brands that you feel are underrated. And I'll pull them up on website. I'll take a look at it. Most of the ones that were brought up today, I was aware of. But if there are others that you think are a hotter take as far as which brands are underrated, leave it in the comments after the fact of this show, and I will do some homework prior and take a look at it. Skylar, I bet 10K I would be able to know the difference. I know, bro. I gotta ruffle your feathers somehow. I gotta get under your skin a little bit, Ben 10. The bracelet would give it away. There you go, because you're a pro. The next season case back. Let me catch up on chat. Yeah, they do look nice. Kosk for the price. Yeah. That's a good point, Monk. That's a good point. I didn't look at that. I don't know if they are. It seems like you know that they're not. And they do look a little homage for sure. But listen, that may work for somebody who wants to get close too, you know? But they should be Kosk. I'll give you that. I don't believe in on time for 2.5. I'd rather get the vintage Longines for the Hamilton. I agree. I feel that way too. I low-key feel that way too. I'm not mad at Manta, but for me, for the price, I would go Longines, especially because like the extensive amount of history that's going to come with it, for sure. You know what I mean? I'm with you on that, bro. I'm with you on that. Not going to lie. 300 meters under 12K, 12 millimeter thick. At that point, we say thin, no? If it's 12 millimeters with an exhibition case back. That is impressive. That is true, because an exhibition case back only offers more points of compromise for water pressure, yes? So, still Pen 10. Uh-oh. I made you laugh. Ben 10 with the super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Before you go, hit that super chat voice for your boy. Of course, man. I appreciate the tip, man. That's crazy. I appreciate you, bro. There you go. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for putting me on to a couple of brands that you thought was underrated. Let me know. We'll do a part 2. Travis brought up a good point and segment that we have to do and we have to talk about. And we will. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for spending your most valuable asset, which is time. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Have a great week, guys. We'll see you on Friday. Peace.